Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody is having a good day. My goodness gracious. So before we get into anything, first of all, of course, I want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, then those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to boot you out of here because we are not going to tolerate that. So simple as that. I got to tell you, before we get into this chat, I got to tell you, this has been, I just saw my absolute favorite comment. I think I might have to start doing like favorite comment of the day, but this one, folks, is above and beyond. And it actually went into my review file, but I did let it go so that people could see it because I just thought it was that special. So this lady comes on there. Now, we first of all, let's give some context to begin with. Mark's cabin has been called the deer blind since the very beginning. It turned into a joke when we decided that we were gonna name our different buildings. He said, "Well, I've kind of become partial to the deer blind, right?" So it's like that's the name of his building. It's called the Deer Blind. So this lady comes on and she says, "Oh my God, you're murdering deer?" She says, "No homesteader needs to do that." She says, "I'm unsubscribing." Folks, I got to tell you what, I laughed so freaking hard. Okay. I really, truly did because I can tell you exactly how many deer I've hunted since I have been down here. And that number is zero. Okay. Now, if I had to do it to survive, I could. I personally don't see any reason to do it other than that. As long as I can continue to get food, I'm not going to hunt deer. That's just my personal choice. I got nothing against anybody hunting deer. That is, like I said again, that is their choice. I don't. It's just a personal choice for me. I hunted when I was younger. If I don't need to do it to survive, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to kill anything unless I have to. To be honest with you, that's just kind of where I'm at. And I like animals a whole lot better than I like people anyway. so, um, but yeah, I just thought that that was hilarious. So she announced it, like I said again, and I've said this part before too. If you don't like me, you don't like the channel. This is not a train station. You do not have to announce your departure. You just leave. So I don't know why these people feel like they have to say, "I'm unsubscribing." Like, oh my God, no, please. I don't know. I find it hysterical. That's just me. And, that's just the way I feel about it. But I saw that comment. So obviously, she don't watch the channel. She has no idea what's going on with the channel, and made a snap judgment. And that's part of, honestly, I will tell you, what is wrong with our society today. It's part of what's wrong with our society today. Yeah. My car is known as Deer Slayer 10 so far. Oh, the number of deer that I have hit through the years, uh, I couldn't even begin to tell you. I've hit a lot of deer through the years. So, but yeah, I just too funny, absolutely too funny. So, so the weather this weekend was absolute. Yeah, I'm a vegan. Yeah, and that's funny. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's anybody's choice. If you're vegan or if you want to eat meat, that's fine. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you eat. I don't care who you sleep with as long as it's not little kids. Uh, you know, Personal preference. Do your thing. Don't bother nobody else, and I respect that. Do what you want to do. It's free will. In it harm none. Anybody ever hear that one? Right? Do what you want to do with your life, but don't hurt anybody, and you're going to be fine. And I'm not going to have a judgment on you because of that. It's just the way that's the way I live my life. I don't have time or the energy for that nonsense. I really don't. So, but anyway, um, so the weather this weekend was absolutely horrific. To be honest with you, it was terrible. It was really, really bad. Pretty much all day Saturday it rained. It was raining again today. It just sloppy, muddy, messy. Everybody was covered with mud. We did get a lot of work done. I have videos that'll be coming up. The rest of the bunker videos will be coming up over the next couple of weeks, every Thursday at 3 o'clock. So if you want to see the progression of what we did and what we worked on, I will tell you this right now. We definitely have come to the conclusion of one thing for sure. We are getting a winch because I will tell you what, hand over hand with a bucket is tough enough. But now when you have the rope is covered with mud and crap, it's like almost impossible. It's absolutely ridiculously it's bad. It was bad. But we worked together as a team and everybody did a great effort and we got quite a bit of work done on the bunker this weekend. So, you like I said, you're gonna see those videos as we go. And I'm probably gonna do like one more final video of things before I don't know if I'm gonna do it tomorrow or if I'm gonna do it Tuesday. We'll have to see. But again, that will go in the progression of once a week, seeing the progress of the bunker build. But it's just it. So the thing with that, and I'm just going to put it out there ahead of time, that's going to be a years project, years and years and years. It's probably never going to be completely done, but again, slow and steady, work on it, do what we can do, and before you know it, it's gonna get there. So the runner up to the deer comment. Okay, so I got to mention this one too because this again was another one that was freaking hilarious to me. Okay, um, so we had the deer blind comment. So that's the winner. That's absolutely the best one. The other comment when somebody was offended, which I love. I love when people are offended because I know I'm doing the right thing. If I'm pissing somebody off, when I talked about the chickens and the rooster is George Lucky Jefferson, and my black hen is Wheezy, right? George and Wheezy Jefferson, because they've moved on up to the deluxe apartment in the sky. It's a joke, right? It's a joke. But yeah, guess what? I'm not changing the names of my chickens. We got George Lucky Jefferson and we have Wheezy. And if people don't like it, oh well, tough. But so anyway, some of the guys are still here. Jimmy's still here. Rob's still here, and Bud's still here. I know Rob's going to be heading out tomorrow, so I did a video today with Rob showing you what was going on with his place, and he's actually done more since I did that video, and he's actually working on stuff probably as we speak. I know he was working on wanting to get some more stuff done as well. I know Bud is, going to be working on his place as well. He'll be here until I think at least Tuesday, and so his game plan is to leave Tuesday morning. And I think Jimmy's right around the same. I think he's leaving Tuesday. So, but yeah, but like I said, yeah, Dave's not here. I was gonna, guys, I'm gonna tell you what, I was gonna do that. I was gonna have somebody go, "Where's Dave?" And I was gonna go, "Dave's not here." No, Dave wasn't able to be here for the get together. He had some other things that he had to take care of, but you know, Dave will be back. Don't worry. Uh, anyway, very productive weekend. Got a lot of stuff done. Like I said, the focus this weekend was the bunker. The weather was just and the worst part was, folks, I'll tell you, all week. If you watch my videos from the week, all week long, from last weekend, right straight through until Thursday, sunshine, beautiful. It was just fantastic weather. And then, Friday night it started raining. And then all day Saturday it rained, and then it was raining off and on again today. And there's supposed to be more rain coming in tonight. I guess about 4 in the morning. It's supposed to start raining again. It's supposed to rain all day tomorrow as well. What are you going to do? It's just all part of it. It is just all part of it. So, but so that's where we're at. Like I said, it's just we did put more road or gravel in the road here on this side as well. So I will do a video and I will show you that as well. But like I said, just trying to get things squared away, try to get things taken care of, and that's all we're trying to do right now. But it's like I said, everything is a work in progress. Oh, it was the other night. The was it yesterday morning? The lightning and the thunder it was wild. I mean, it was wild. So, but yeah. Hey, like I said, it's all part of it. And the biggest thing is that, and again, I will always give credit where credit's due. And Ronnie was the orchestrator of this. So anybody that ever wants to complain about that we work in whatever the weather is, no matter what, it's Ronnie's fault, because Ronnie had said to me at one point, he said, "Listen," he said, "SHTF happens. It's not going to matter what the weather's doing. Things are still going to have to be done." And I was like, you know what? You are absolutely right. Um, I said, "You're absolutely right." And so, I really took that to heart, and it makes sense because things are going to be like that. You're going to have, you know, you're going to have things done no matter what the weather is. So, regardless of what the weather is when we have our get togethers, now normally we have different projects that we're doing. But there's Mark. Did you get home okay, Mark? But regardless of what the weather's doing, things have to be done. I know like Mark worked a lot on his place. You saw the video that came on. Not yet. Okay. You saw the video that came on at 3 o'clock. He did more stuff. I'll do another walkthrough video, kind of showing that and everything as well. So, like I said, it's this project down here. Honestly, with what we're doing, I don't think will ever be finished. It'll never be finished. There will always be something else that we can do, something else that we can accomplish, and that's just the way it's going to be. That's just the way it's going to be. But again, how is that a bad thing? Keep you busy, keep you occupied, keep you active. I'm sure that everybody slept well last night. I'm sure everybody's going to sleep well tonight. It's just that's part of the whole process of it. Oh, Kansas City scored before the half. Okay, because I saw it was 10-0 with a 2-minute warning, so I didn't know if they scored or not before the halftime. But isn't that weird? I mean, if you guys remember too, like they're talking about the storm that's going to come up, and they're talking, and I love how there's the storm coming, 8 to 12 inches. Deal. That's not nothing, especially for the Northeast. That ain't nothing, But here's what I find interesting. They talked before this winter started. Oh, this winter's going to be bad. This winter's going to be bad. It's going to be a bad winter. It's going to be terrible, and it just never materialized. Even down here, we've actually, because I was talking to Bud, he's also up in New York. He said, actually, he goes, you guys down here have had more snow than they've had there, which is like absolute craziness when you look at it. And we really have not. I mean, we had two storms coming back to back. One dropped maybe 8 inches on us, and the next one dropped 6. Not a big deal. I cleaned up downstairs and upstairs before I left, so the deer blind is ready for a walkthrough. Yeah, I saw the pictures in the group chat, Mark. So, will everyone have to get their own solar, or will they be off yours? No, Mary. Everybody will have their own solar system set up for their places. I think that's a good thing for several reasons. To be honest with you, let's say everybody was just off my solar system. And if my solar system went down, then everybody's solar system went down. That doesn't make any sense. That's just not a smart way of doing it. If everybody has their own solar setups for their buildings, and then one system does go down, they can piggyback off of somebody else's, and stuff like that. It's a smarter way. It's that redundancy. Again, one is none, two is one. If we got 4 or 5 different places with solar systems down here, that's a whole lot of options in a situation when it comes to that point in time. So That's it's just a smart way of doing it. But so anyway, I was going to talk. Obviously, the title of this live stream is teamwork, working as a team, having a group, and how important that is. And I really don't think a lot of people take into consideration what it takes. Okay, I want you to think about um, Ed, and the fact that the farther you run wire, there is power loss, and that's exactly right too, Delbert. Yeah, if we're running lines all over the place, then people are going to have issues, and you lose power in that drop. That's why the battery room is right there, and the camper is here. And when I build, I'm going to basically build on the other side there, so that the run is not long for the power, that I need for when I do build my own cabin and stuff like that. And honestly, what I may do short term, because it would be easier, it would be cheaper. I may do an extension this way off the camper and go out 15, 20 feet and then just box it in, like the length of the camper, and do something like that. That is a possibility that may happen. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it yet. We're going to figure all that out. So, but anyway, many hands make light work is probably the very first thing that I would say about having a group. When there are projects to do, if you have more people working together, you get more done, and it goes faster. And I'll give you an example. When I do things by myself, like if I'm moving stone or whatever by myself, I just do it. I just do what I have to do, and we go from there. But when you have people working together, you're laughing, you're joking, you're cutting up, and things go faster, and the time flies because you're doing things as a team, and to me, that's important. That is important. I think that, like, that camaraderie, that brother and sisterhood, is a huge part of your building those relationships. You're coming together, and and it doesn't feel like work. Exactly, Mark. It doesn't feel like work because we're all just talking a bunch of crap to each other, and like the situation this weekend. I mean, everybody was covered in mud. I mean, there was no way you could avoid it. It was not going to happen. You were just going to be, everybody was muddy. So, that became a joke. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you just deal with it. You deal with it. And now, would I have rather had the weekend be sunny and nice? Temperature wise, the weekend wasn't bad. It was very moderate. But, with the rest of it, it's just, it rained all weekend. And what are you going to do? But with a group of people, there's several factors when you have a group that come into play. All right. And I've talked about this before, and we're going to get into that in this video here today. So, first of all, we got 250 in the chat, got 108 thumbs up so far. So, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so, to show support for the channel. And I do appreciate that as well. Also, it makes a huge difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction that we have, the better it is for the channel, and I do appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So if you are a lone wolf prepper, that's it. Screw it. I'm not having anybody else. It's just me, my wife, and a couple of kids, and your kids are maybe little or whatever the case may be. So the problem with that is, very simply, you cannot stay up 24 hours a day. That's the first negative of being a lone wolf prepper. You can't stay up 24 hours a day. Somebody always has to be awake. So you're probably going back and forth with you and the wife with the time. Somebody's got to be awake. Okay, that's number one. So we're going to do the comparisons now with a group. Somebody always can be awake, right? You do rotation. You make sure people are getting proper rest. You do a 4-hour watch so that people are not doing it for 8 hours and they get tired and they get complacent and blah, blah, blah. You do 4-hour or 2-hour windows. You do it that way. People stay sharp. They stay on top of their game. They can pay attention. But again, people are still getting proper rest, especially if you go with a 2 hour window through the night. If you have to get up and like say you have watch from midnight to 2 in the morning, okay, so you try to get a little shut eye before then. You get up, you do your watch, you go back to sleep, and maybe you get another 4 hours of sleep if you're lucky. All right. If you have it earlier in the shift, well then great. You know, you can still get enough sleep. And it's not like every person would have to be on watch every night. Again, it would be a rotation. So there might maybe this night you're going to have 2 hours that are going to be interrupted. The next day you don't have watch at all, depending on what your numbers are in your group. And psychologically, folks, being able to go to sleep and knowing that people are there watching and protecting you and keeping you safe, that is huge. It's huge. Okay. So now let's look at the second scenario. The lone wolf prepper gets sick, gets hurt, has a mechanical injury, something to that effect, where they can't do what they need to do. Who's picking up the slack? There's nobody there to pick up that slack. Now, if you have a group, right, and you get injured or you have a sickness, you're going to have time to be able to recover fully before you go back on duty, for say. Okay. It's the beauty of that group is you can go ahead and you can take that time to heal up, to rest, to take care of what you need to take care of. That's also really really important, and I think a lot of people don't think about that ahead of time. If you are by yourself, you're going to be highly stressed no matter what. We're all going to be highly stressed. That's number one. I want people to realize that in a true SHTF situation, every single person is going to be highly stressed. All right. That's number one. You need to get proper sleep. If you're trying to do it by yourself, you're never going to get proper sleep. You're going to go and go and go until you crash and burn out, and your body basically says, you're sleeping no matter what. And then who's watching you and watching things while you're doing that? Okay. And again, when you're overtired, you're not thinking clearly, your mind is not sharp. And that's when injuries happen. When, like, I'll tell you what, today, so we all worked very hard yesterday. We started out this morning. We were probably, we normally go until like noon on Saturday, but I think it was like quarter after 11. And I went, okay, that's it, no more. And the reason was everybody was tired, everybody was sore. The weather, again, was just miserable. And it's more of a chance of somebody getting hurt because of that. And I don't want anybody, obviously, to get hurt. Right. How quick did I hurt my back just trying to step down out of the truck? Right. It doesn't take much to get hurt. That's a great point, JJ. It doesn't take much. So, again, a simple twist, turn the wrong way, whatever, and you can have an injury. And like I said, if you don't have that time to heal up properly, you're never gonna. Okay. And so that's really important too. Again, what I like so here you're by yourself. We're going to use another scenario of the lone wolf prepper. The lone wolf prepper has a problem he's got to solve. He's got to figure it out. There ain't nobody else to bounce ideas off of. He's got to figure it out, or she has got to figure it out. As a group, I have an idea and I go, I think we should do it this way. And then maybe Mark or Dave or Rob or Jimmy go, well, wait a minute. I think this way would work better. And when you analyze it and you take that feedback in, you realize, wow, there is an easier way to do this. Now, my way worked, but this other way is much more efficient and it works better. So, again, when you have a lot of people and you're getting that feedback and you're bouncing ideas off each other, and then again, that's how you get, it works so much better that way. And again, when the time comes, it's just you have to, like I said, working together is the key. You have to come together. And here's the biggest thing too. So now, especially as we get older, my mind thinks I'm still 25. My body thinks my mind is crazy. Exactly. I always tell people, I said, I can't go like I was 25 anymore. I do okay, and I can take care of my business, but I have to pace myself. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I have to pace myself. And that's what people, again, they don't get. You have to really You look at your situation, you go, okay, what can I do? What can I not do? And, and take it from there. So the thing, like I said, again, with having a group, it has so many more advantages. And the key to me, like there's an ebb and flow within a group. All right. And what do I mean by that? When I first had my first prepper meeting of the people that wanted to be members of the group, and I'll tell you now because it don't matter because you don't know what our numbers are now, and I'm not going to tell you what our numbers are now. We had 8 members, right? So either that was a family or a single individual. We had 8 members of the group. And I sat down with them that first May because we did the get together meeting everybody in April. And in May is when we actually started doing the group. I said, there will be an attrition. People will come into the group, people will leave the group. You will have some people that will come from the very beginning and they will never leave the group. You'll pick up people along the way that'll end up being valued members of the group that weren't there in the very beginning, but there's somebody that you can count on. You realize that they're going to be a good fit, and that's the other thing that I think is so important. How do you find a group when you've moved to a new place and don't know anyone? That's a great question, Ace. And like I said, you just got to try to reach out. Either you can reach out on Facebook and see what's out there and available. If there's groups in your area, there's always groups all the time. I'll tell you that right now. A lot of times it's difficult to try to get into a new group. There's no doubt about that. But you just have to you have to try to figure it out. And again, you better make sure what kind of group you're getting into. That's another key factor. Okay, that is a huge key factor. They need to align with where your mindset is at. You know, I'll tell you one of the things that we always talk about as a group, and I tell people if somebody's new coming into the group, I always say to them, I said, listen, number one, we are not a militia. So if that's what you're looking for, this is not the group for you. I said, number two, even though most of us are pretty much anti government, we are not looking to overthrow the government. So if you're looking for that kind of group, again, this is not the group for you. We are a group of people that when the time comes, we have agreed to work together, to come together and do all that type of stuff. The key also, and I did want to mention this, the key with a group, which is important, I was talking about the attrition, okay? People that can't hack it are going to weed themselves out. People that can't do it are going to weed themselves out. I would rather have that happen now instead of going, okay, SHDF is here. We got all these people, and then you find that half of them don't want to do stuff or they want to sit around and expect everybody else to take care of everything, and they don't want to put the effort in. You can find out. It makes itself very evident really quickly who's in it for the long haul, who's not in it for the long haul. I will tell you this right now: of the original 8 members that we had in the group, we have 3 left out of the original 8 members. You guys have seen Mark from day one, so anybody that watches this channel knows Mark is one of those guys that have been here since day one. And I know Mark's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere, and that's great. Mark is one of the people that I absolutely rely on. He's a great member of the group. He gets along with everybody good. And there's the other thing that I think is really important. You have to have that connection and that bond and that brother and sisterhood. That is a huge important. I know that some people come on, here and they want to call us a cut. Oh, you'll see him. Yeah, you'll see Jimmy. Jimmy will be back. He's here. He's here this month. Um, you're gonna, like I said, you have to be able to work together and come together in that teamwork and being able to get along and all that type of stuff. And so we'll use Jimmy as an example. Okay, so the way Jimmy came into the group, his uncle, old Mutt, had contacted me and said, because he knows Jason, Angry Prepper, And so he's like, yeah, I'd like to come down and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, that would be great. Mark's like you, Ed. He has that stubborn streak. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The determination and I'm not quitting and nobody can stop me type of thing. Exactly. And that's important. But anyway, so old Mutt came down and Jimmy is his nephew, okay, and he came with him. And and then we had discussions and stuff like that. And then Jimmy said, I would like to be part of the group, and that's how Jimmy came on board. And you want to talk about an asset, folks? And here's the thing: what I want you to understand. So some of you are probably thinking, yeah, he's an asset because he works. It's not just that. It's not just that. The input that he brings to the group, the knowledge that he brings to the group, his thought process that he brings to the group, and being able to get along with the people. That's probably one of the biggest keys. If you want to have a group and you want that group to stay together, you have to have people that are going to work together. And that's the key. You know what I mean? Mark's place looks really good. He's done a great job. Absolutely he has. And the thing is, so here's the things what you got to understand. A year ago, right? A year ago, Mark was sleeping on the side of the hill out here in a tent. And I mean on the side of the hill. He was in a tent and he's like, I'm building this place and I'm going to do this. And it's taken time. It's been a lot of work, and he's had a couple months where he hasn't been able to be here and stuff like that. But you look what he has done, and now the way his place looks down there, and it's coming along fantastic. Now, there's a lot more stuff that he wants to do, and that's perfectly fine. If we have the time, he's going to be able to do it. The 40-year-olds in the group need to be more stationary, need to be mature in leadership, and lead the young guns and also hold the base camp. You're right. And again, we have, the average age down here is higher than 40, but that's okay. But I'll tell you what, it's like give me Gen X's and give me baby boomers. Those are the guys that I want. Okay, I'll be honest with you, and I'll tell you why. Because the Gen X and baby boomers, we're workers. That's who we are. That's what we do. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of the younger folks, they can have that work ethic as well, and that's perfectly fine. But trying to teach a lot of these guys, when they don't have that background and don't have that stability, um, it's tough. Either you have it or you don't. And again, that's how it weeds out. You find out who can hack it and who can't. I would rather have the guy. Here's I'll make a point. I'd rather have the guy that may not be the best worker, but they show up every time and they put the effort in and they really don't complain. Everybody complains a little bit, oh, I'm sore, this hurts, that hurts. That's normal, okay? I would rather have that guy than the whiny guy that just whines and pisses and moans the entire time and doesn't put the effort in and doesn't, that, oh, I'm a victim. I don't want that type of person in my group. So again, those type of people, they don't last. They don't last. They realize really quickly. Here's so I'll break it down this way. There's a big fantasy in a lot of people's minds of what this is, right? A group, and we're gonna get together and it's gonna be rah 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 rah. Okay. The reality is to get to where you want to be with a group, infrastructure, buildings, things that have to be done. It's hard work. And it's sweat intensive, it's labor intensive, and there's going to be times that it absolutely sucks and it's not any fun. That's part of it. Okay, you find out who's the real deal because when push comes to shove, you know, you're going to have to do what you got to do, and those are the type of people that I want, that are willing. They look at the big picture. They realize what the big picture is. I mean, you look at folks, the number of people that put buildings in here last year, okay, uh, that all costs money, and then everything that has to be done inside those buildings, None of that is free either. It's all hard work. It's all, like I said again, uh, wiring and then insulating and then getting, whatever walls they're putting up, if it's tongue and groove or drywall or whatever the case may be, your paneling or whatever. It's all work. And it's not fun. But like you look at where Mark is with his deer blind, I mean, my God, the difference from sleeping in a tent on the side of the hill to what he's got now. He's got the wood stove in there. So, like, he could go in. And this weekend was a milder weekend. So it was definitely, but if he went in there in the evening and he had a little bit of a chill, he can start a fire. He can warm up the cabin and it'll be warm in no time. And, he can just relax. And that's what it's all about. You set, see, here's the other thing with our society today. This is the biggest key, and I'll tell you right now. And I figured this one out a long time ago. We live in an instant gratification society. That's where we are right now, folks. Everybody wants it yesterday. They don't want to work for it. They don't want to put the effort in. Okay. They're not willing to sacrifice in the short term for the long term goal. I have always been willing. I look at the big picture. I'm going to sacrifice in the short term for the long term goal. Here's the difference, and again, choice. So please don't think I'm like, oh, I'm, this or that. And that's not what I'm saying. The difference is these guys come down here for a weekend once a month, do their thing and stuff like that. And then they go home. They go back to all the power and all the amenities and all the creature comforts and everything like that at their homes, which is fine. I don't, that's not what I'm still here. I don't leave. This is my home. This is where I'm going to be. And I'm okay with that. I am absolutely okay with that. In an SHTF situation, being a jack of all trades is better than being a master of one. That's 100% correct on. And the thing is, what the cool thing I like too about a group, like we got about 3 or 4 guys that got pretty decent carpentry skills in our group. Difficult conditions are mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. That's for sure, Okie Forge. I agree 100%. I live this lifestyle because I want to live this lifestyle. I'm okay with it. Here, I will tell you what the difference is in a true SHTF. Let's say the world ended tomorrow, was not going back to normal. You know what the only difference for me would be? No more phone, no more internet. That would be gone, right? Pretty, other than that, and I wouldn't have to leave and go out and do anything. I would stay here. That's the only difference. Really, not much else would change. Now, that's the case. Everybody gets here. We were talking about a little bit this weekend. I said, do you realize how much we would get done and accomplished if everybody was here full time? Oh, the kids today would be totally lost without their phones. Oh, yeah, because they've grown up on electronics. They don't know anything but that, and my kids included, because that's all they've ever known. There's always been a computer. There's always been laptops. There's always been phones. All that's there, and they just it's what they're used to. So the opportunity is there if you want to learn and if you want to practice and figure stuff out. The opportunity's there, but like I said again, the problem is always going to be that people want it yesterday. They don't want to work for it. And I've always been like, okay, I look at the big picture. We sacrifice in the short term, and then in the long term, it's just like the pavilion. The pavilion didn't happen overnight. It didn't go up in a weekend, folks. It was months of slow and steady progress. But you know what? It came together. Like this weekend, raining the entire time. It just absolutely sucked. But guess what? We could go in the pavilion. We were out of the weather, cooked breakfast in the morning on the wood stove, uh, you know, being able to sit in there and BS and enjoy breakfast together and talk and all that type of stuff. It was great. It was absolutely great. So, the short term discomfort is the long term gain and goal. And now, is the pavilion 100% done? No, but it's functional. We can utilize it. We can be out of the weather, and that's awesome. That you have no idea how awesome that is. but it's awesome. So, you know, it's just it's all part of it, and that's what I think people really will never truly understand. A lot of people, because they don't want to sacrifice, they don't want to, they want it now, they want it instantly. And you look at what New York took 8 years to get to where I got in New York. It wasn't overnight, it wasn't instantaneous, it was a slow and steady process. You know, we didn't have running water in New York for the first year and a half that we lived there. So, and then when we finally did, it was amazing. RJ, how do I join you? My skills are masonry, farming, siding, roofing, from New York and ready. What you do this for me, RJ. If you're interested in being part of what we're doing down here, shoot me an email at preppernurse1@yahoo.com. Give me your phone number. I will call you. I will tell you what the process is and what we have to do, and we'll go from there. So that would be the best way that I would say. We're always looking for new people. Uh, you know, like I said, it's a team. And I will tell you what, I'm really happy with the members that I have. People have left for varying reasons. Some of them, there's been someone just couldn't hack it. They couldn't hack it, so they left, and that's okay. There's no slight against them. I'm not. See, here's the thing that people don't understand. If they don't want to stay in this and do this, I'm not mad about that. I force nobody to be here. I don't force anybody to be here. It's a choice. You want to be here and do this, it's a choice. If you realize, man, this isn't what I want, this isn't what I want to do, all you got to do is pick up the phone and go, hey, listen, man, it's not working for me. I don't want to do it anymore. And I go, okay, well, I wish you the best of luck. There is no hard feelings. I have said to several members, if you want to come back, you're more than welcome to come back. You just let me know if that's what you want to do. Your situation changes, your finance changes, whatever the case it is, that's fine. I'm not see, the thing is, I don't hold grudge. Well, only thing I hold grudges about when people say crap about my kids, but I don't hate anybody. I don't have the time or energy to hate anybody. Okay, so I just, to me, and realistically, anybody, there's all kinds of, they talk crap all the time, and that's perfectly fine. Like I said, again, they would never do it to my face because they don't have the stones to do that. When I went on Joe's channel, I'll give you an example. I went on St. Bernard Zaker's channel, and a lot of people in his chat talk nothing but crap about me. So I said, I am more than happy to meet with anybody. Well, of course, they took that as, why are you being so aggressive? How is that being aggressive? You hate me and stuff like that. I'm more than happy to meet with you. We could sit down, we could have a cup of coffee, and you can tell me all the reasons why you hate me. And maybe we could have a conversation like adults and work together. It's amazing how that could be. People would be surprised if you were able to sit down with somebody and actually have a conversation and go, wow, they're really not a bad person. People get preconceived notions, they get what they think that it is in their head and all that type of stuff, and that's perfectly fine. um, but again, you know what I mean, like I said, weak-minded people, all they know how to do is attack. That's what they do. They're weak-minded, they got nothing else going in their lives, so they fixate on somebody. And apparently some of these people are fixated on me, which is great, because and I'll tell you why that's great. Because if they're fixated on me, they're leaving somebody else alone. So good. Like I said, I got broad shoulders. Bring it on. Say anything you want to say about me. You can say anything you want to say about whatever. Leave my kids out of it. My kids are innocent. They got nothing to do with nothing. And like I said, and there are people out there that are, and I have people that I can reach out to, and I have information, and I will find you. And don't be surprised when you have a knock on your door and Prepper Nurse One standing there going, "Why are you acting the way you're acting? I'm right here right now. What are you going to do now?" Okay. And I laughed, like the one person in Joe's chat, and I'll bring this up. They were like, "Oh, well, if you meet with us, are you going to bring your gun?" I will tell you right now, wherever I go in West Virginia, I carry my gun. So most likely, yeah, I would probably have my gun on me. But I can tell you this: Just because I carry a gun doesn't mean I'm coming to shoot you or attack you or try to hurt you or try to intimidate you. You know why? Because that's why I'm able to carry a gun, because I'm not stupid. I don't act like an idiot. I don't think I'm a tough guy. I don't think I'm a tough guy. So that's all what that is. People are going to be people. They're going to do what they're going to do. But like I said, if they're attacking me, they're leaving somebody else alone, and that's perfectly fine. Like I said, but focus on me. If you got a problem with me, focus on me. Don't my kids into it, because you bring my kids into it, and now we got a problem. So but being physically prepared is much different than being emotionally prepared when SHTF. Yeah. Oh, emotionally, mentally, having your mind wrapped around it, John. You're 100% correct. Uh, having all see, here's the other part that I think a lot of people. Oh, it is time. Okay, JJ, give me just 1 second. We'll get to egg count in just a minute, folks. The biggest thing I think that people don't get, you can have all the gear in the world. If you don't know how to use that gear and use those supplies, that doesn't help you. When you're counting on that at that particular point in time to be your stopgap, and if you don't know what you're doing with it, that's not the time to figure it out. The time to figure it out are now. You need to be emotionally, mentally, and physically ready for when the time comes. And I think that is important. All right, so let's do this. We got 169 thumbs up. We got 270 in the chat. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And heaven forbid you had to use your sidearm, you would try to save them afterwards. Well, I'm not looking to hurt. Like I said, again, hopefully I never. I will. I hope that I never have to use my sidearm. I hope I never have to. But it's there, just like for an emergency situation. If I have to, I would, and I wouldn't want to, but I would do what I have to do. Again, make sure you subscribe. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Make sure you hit that bell icon also to get all notifications. Okay, how many eggs today? And yes or no for the white hen. And thank you for being patient and not throwing it all up there ahead of time. I love when people do that. You don't start putting them up early. You know what I mean? Wait until I say go, and then when I say go, you can get all your guesses that you want, which would be great. So, that's too funny, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's even now. It is sloppy. It's miserable out there. Actually, I'll tell you. I'll look at the forecast here real quick. Let's see what it's saying. I mean, right now it's still 48 degrees. At almost 9 o'clock at night. Yeah, the rain's gonna start 4 in the morning. It's like a 50% chance until we get into the afternoon, and then it goes up to 60, 70%. So we're looking at rain all day tomorrow. So that's the reality, unfortunately. But yeah, we're looking at rain all day tomorrow. So then Tuesday, Wednesday are going to look in pretty decent. And then Thursday, a chance of rain on Thursday. So, it is what it is. All right. If you had the same guess, I gave you guys plenty of time to get your guesses up there. The very first guess was the right guess, and that was full of hope. Full of hope. If you had the same guess as her with 4 eggs today, and yes, the white hen did lay, then congratulations. Full of hope, you've won nothing, but you are happy, so that is a good thing. So congratulations to Full of Hope. She goes, I don't believe it. Well, it's true. You are the winner. So, but yeah, they pretty steady this time of year. It varies day to day. I mean, there's some days I'll get 2 eggs, but usually if everybody that's lays right now, I generally get the 4. The most I've had is 5 so far this year. I get 5 eggs in one day. But yep, so there we go. Full of Hope is the winner. So our friend from across the pond is the winner today. Again, folks, there's a lot more advantages. And here's what always I find interesting when I have people bring up this point. Well, I don't trust other people, and how do you know they're not going to turn on you, and all of these type of things. if you build relationships with like-minded people and the right like-minded people, there's not going to be that issue. And it's like, I'm not looking to be a dictator. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to have people that I know are going to have my back, like I'm going to have their back when the time comes, and that we are going to work together and come together and be there for each other. And if you build those relationships now, why would they change because things go sideways or the world goes to crap? Why would they change? Does that make any sense? Um, all of a sudden now the world has gone to crap, and now no, I don't. Now we're not going to work together. Um, that doesn't make any sense to me. Again, you have to in life you have to take chances. And do I take first of all, do I take a chance putting myself out here on YouTube? Yes, I do all the time. If you, Ed, if you had say 50 hens, would you free range a percentage of them? Kevin, I don't know because you lose, especially out here in the woods, you would lose way too many to predators, from chicken hawks to the wildlife in the area. If I can keep them in an area where they're more protected and they got what they need, that's what I would rather do. What we are planning down here, I will tell you this, I'll share this with you. As everybody's building their places and stuff like that, other people plan on having chicken coops to the ready and ready to go. So when the time comes, we don't have just the main flock. We don't have, okay, there's our flock. That's it. We're relying on all of our supplies and eggs on those chickens there. If we have three or four, five different chicken pens, if you will, excuse me, that gives us a better opportunity. That if one flock gets attacked and there's issues, we have the other ones that we can rely on, and that's what it's about realistically. So it also helps with disease. Yep, exactly. Yep. So they don't all get sick at the same time. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. So, it's just, again, one is none, two is one, three is two. So, you need to make sure you have your backup set up and you plan ahead and you think ahead and all those type of things. And I think that that's important. So, what was I going to say? But again, you have to trust. You have to take a chance. Like I said, you guys, anybody that's watched this channel knows, I've had CPS called on me twice. Both times unfounded, both times led to absolutely nothing because my kids were fine. That was when my kids were younger. I have been swatted. Anybody that watches the channel knows that I have been swatted. And I'm gonna give you a little heads up on that. Proactive, right? Proactive, thinking ahead. And this actually, I will give credit again where credit is due. My buddy Reese, who's an ex-sheriff, he's down in South Carolina. He had said to me, he said, Ed, go to the local police, tell them who you are, tell them what happened in New York about being swatted. He goes and get yourself in the CAD. What they have is when somebody calls 911, it's a CAD. If you're in there, then they know ahead of time. So what I did is I went to the state police. I ended up talking to a trooper, and he actually said he had dealt with that before, and so he knew about swatting stuff. And so he told me, they took my information. I told them who I was. I said, if you get a call saying that it's me and I've done this or that or the other thing, now you know you need to call me first and know that I've nipped that crap in the butt because I'm already in their system. They know who I am. They know that I'm a YouTuber and that I'm not out here killing anybody. What is swatted? What swatting is, Julie? Somebody they do it to normally what they do is they was normally gamers, but for whatever reason they decided to do it to me too. So while somebody's doing a live stream, they call the police and they say that they are you, that you've killed somebody, that you have a hostage. And so the police show up in full gear and they're thinking they're going against this person that's a terrible bad person. And in my case, what they did is they called the cops back and they said, I have a AR-15 and I'm going to kill the police when they get here. So these guys were amped up when they got, they never pulled in front of my house. This was in New York. They never pulled in front of my house because I lived on a dead end dirt road. They were out on the main road. They were actually cautious about coming in because they thought they were going to be ambushed. So they called and they called and called, and and they were like, you need to, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And we figured out really quickly that I was being swatted. It's called swatting, and they do it for their jollies. It's very dangerous. People have been killed because of swatting with false information being given out. Now, so they came. I had to go out of the house. I told the dispatcher. I said, please let them know I have a flashlight in one hand because it was nighttime. It was 10 o'clock at night. I have my phone in the other hand. So I had to come out of my house with my hands up in the air like this, so they could see. They came in. They never put me in handcuffs or anything like that. They said to me, "We still have to search the premises." And you know what I said to them, folks? I went, "Go ahead." Go ahead, take a look around. There's nobody dead in there. No, they never found out who did it because they used the Tor program, which scrambles the IP address. Um, and so I will tell you what happened a little bit. The way that they found out about the whole thing in the first place was there was an FBI agent monitoring a chat in New York City, and it's a bunch of kids, and they do it because they think it's to get their jollies out of it. They think it's fun or whatever the case. Like that idiot in Florida that they just caught, that 17-year-old, right? Um, and so what, like I said, they looked through. They obviously saw that there was nothing going on there, and thank goodness, I will tell you this right now, and I was so happy about this. That it was on a Sunday. That particular Sunday, the kids had spent an extra day at mom's because Heather had like a dentist appointment the next day. And so they were all at mom's. The kids were not home when it happened. So I was very grateful about that because Eddie would not have been able to handle that. He would have been very traumatized. He would have been very upset. So these people are scumbags that do stuff like that. And I will tell you this: it was state troopers, and it was the local sheriffs up in New York. They were awesome. They were absolutely awesome. And so, yeah, I remember that chat. You kept getting phone calls. Yep, I sure did. And it was a blocked number, so I wasn't answering it. you know. Um, but you know what? We got through that situation. That's over with. And like I said, so I came down here, and Reese said to me, be proactive. And what the CAD is, for those of you that are curious, when somebody calls 911, and like let's say somebody called 911, said they're me and that I did this or that or the other thing, what they're going to do, the first thing is you're going to see if there's any information in the system. And so they're going to pull that information up and say, this guy's a YouTuber. He's been swatted in the past. And so they're going to pick up that phone first and call me and go, hey, what's going on? And I'd be like, what are you talking about? And they're like, yeah, somebody called saying they were you again. So it nips that nonsense in the butt. So, and that's a good thing. That is a good thing. So it's, but again, did I have to do that just to make sure that the cops don't show up? Because I'm gonna tell you, you guys know, you've seen my road. I'm in the middle of the freaking woods, and it's like it's not that wouldn't be a good situation. And am I armed? Everybody knows that I carry a gun all the time, so yeah, I am armed. So it's like, and this is my property. So, but but the troopers, like I said, the one that I talked to, he said, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've dealt with this in the past. And so, we're going to put it into the system and you're going to be fine. And I'm like, I appreciate that. And I said, because when I called, I said, this is going to be the weirdest conversation you probably had. And, I explained stuff, and he had dealt with it before. So that made it a lot better. So, but again, it's being proactive, folks. It's looking at possible problems, nipping it in the butt before it becomes a major problem. And so, that's but again, the other things. So let's talk about the other things. I've had the town called on me in New York. I've had the town called on me down here. And people will say, well, how do they know where you are? When you pay taxes on a property that you own, all you got to do is a property search in an area, right? And you say, my name is a unique name, folks. There's not a whole ton of Carswells out there. So it narrows it down pretty big. And I'm sure there's not a whole lot of Edward Carswells out there. Okay. When I lived in Rochester area, I was one of three Carswells out of a million people area because they would put the phone book out and I would look in the phone book. I would be one of three Carswells in the area. And I called the other Carswells just out of curiosity. And they were all transplants from the South. And usually the South meaning like Florida and in that area. But like I said, up here, I don't think there's any. Oh, no, there is one other lady, and we actually talked because her last name was Carswell as well. So we actually talked, but there's not a whole lot of us out here, so it's not hard to find, to find out where somebody is. The information is out there. Stop trying to defend the government. You're a prepper. How am I defending the government? Why? Because they treated me with respect and dignity when the cops came? You got to understand, if somebody makes that call, they have to take that call seriously. They don't know. Once they called, once they talked to me, once they figured out that my voice wasn't the same voice that called 911, they worked together with me very well. So, and that's not kissing up or sucking up to the government or nothing like that. That's making sure I don't get killed because somebody hates me and wants to try to put some crap on me. But like I said again, it's just you do what you have to do to be proactive. There's always going to be people that hate. There's always people that are going to be jealous. There's always going to be people that wish they were you, okay, for whatever reason. I'm no different than anybody else. I'm just more determined and more stubborn than most people. When I set my mind to something, that's it. Um, Ed, AI could cause real problems in the future with calls like that. Yeah, they absolutely could. But again, because I'm in the system and they know who I am, they're going to call me first. And if that meant that a trooper came out here, I would have no problem with that. I would be like, listen, man, it's me and my dog, So, all right, we shall move on. It is time for egg count again. What do we got? 264 in the chat. We're at 202 on a thumbs up. Again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to do so to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that. Again, it really does make a huge difference with the algorithms as well, and I appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon for all notifications as well. So we're going to start out with Heavenly Hills Homestead. That is Ryan growing giant vegetables. Real good guy. Definitely go and support his channel. You have Angry Prepper. That is Jason down in New York City. Real good guy as well. There is Icky Can up in Canada doing his thing up there. So definitely go show him some support. There is Alaska Prepper. That is Rudy. I like Rudy a lot as well. Very down to earth gentleman. There is Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and myself Reliance, two different channels. Same guy. Uh, Living up in Canada, living off grid, showing you unbelievable master builder and really, really cool. There is Demcat. I like Demcat a lot as well. A lot of good information with him. There's Corporal's Corner. You have Bjorn Hansen. There is 80K Man up in the Adirondacks doing his thing up there. There is Bizariza Jizza who does the Carrington Chronicles. It's a very interesting story. You can definitely take things out of that as well. Let's see, where am I? Marfugal News, Adam and Dax out on the West Coast in Seattle, giving you the information out there. Really good info with Adam. Definitely check him out as well. You have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. There is Wranglestar. That is Cody. Cody's a good guy. A lot of good information on his channel. You can pick up a lot of good tips there. There is Red Poppy Ranch. You have Survival Lily coming at us out of showing you what's going on over there. And I think that's important to keep an eye on what's happening over there. You have Kyle's Cabin. You have Kyle and Sierra up in Minnesota doing their thing up there. Nice young couple living off grid. There is Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods. Husband wife team doing their thing. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska. A lot of good information on both of their channels. You have Green Greg's, another good guy, getting ready to transport and move his butt out to Arizona. There is Southern Prepper One with his Boots on the Ground series. There is Gray Man Prepping. You have Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy have been around for a long time. Nice people, a lot of good information on their channel as well. You have the Nomadic Movement. They are down in Panama doing their thing down there and definitely worth a listen to. Green Dream Project out in Arizona, showing you what it's like to live in the desert and what it takes to live in the desert. And so, nice couple out there as well. There is Camping with Steve Wallace, doing stealth camping up in Canada. More entertainment, but a lot of fun. There's definitely tips you can pick up with what he does. There's Bush Doctor Survival. You have Monkey Works. There is the Needy Homesteader. She's been around again for a long time. Good channel, a lot of good information with her channel. There's Boss of the Swamp. Amazing builder again. Love his ideas, love what he does. I think is very interesting, and you definitely can learn things from him. We have Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Diamond is a very smart guy. A lot of good information on the channel. Anything you want to know about the Grand Solar Minimum, definitely worth the listen to. There is Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. Straight shooter. She says it like it is. I respect that. I like anybody that's straight up and just says it like it is. There is City Prepper. You have Lumina Acres. There is Suspicious Observer, showing you what's going on with the sun and everything like that. I think that that's really interesting as well. There is Bear Independent. You have the Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear coming at you out of the Canary Islands of La Palma. There is Mary Greeley News. Mary Greeley is going to give you all the latest information of what's going on with Yellowstone, the earthquakes, and other things as well. Definitely worth a listen to. There is Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. Truth um, be Truth be told by Tara. She changed her name. It used to be Truly Tara 76. She's now changed her name to Truth Be Told with Tara. So definitely check her out as well. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy you should be getting your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall, y'all. Ryan Hall is a great guy, very passionate about the weather, but he gives back to the community in a huge way, and I have a lot of respect for that. So definitely check him out as well. You have Russell Brand. Russell Brand gives you the information. He lets you decide what you want to do with it. A lot of them don't like it. Hope you will be announcing my YouTube channel later this year. I will be doing the Ukraine preparedness practices. Your inspiration for us. Thank you. Yeah, sure, John. And I got no problem with that. Just let me know when you get things rolling, and I will try to do that for you. Let's see. Russell, like I said, Russell Brand gives you the info. It lets you decide what you want to do with it. There is Deep South Homestead. Again, very family friendly oriented channel. Definitely worth to listen to. You have The Outsider up in Maine, and there's Betting on Alaska. A young man starting his journey. He is the son of Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, starting his journey trying to live in Alaska. Made mistakes, but you know what? Who of us can say at 18 that we knew it all and we didn't make any mistakes? I don't think not one of us could say that. But he's given it a try, and I do respect that. We have the Fit Farmer. There is Prep Rebel. Simple Life Reclaimed. There is Townsend's. Townsend's is showing you what it's like to live in the 1800s. I think it's good information that we should be watching and picking up tips from that. You have the Prepared Mind. There's Pinball Preparedness coming at us from Tennessee. There's East Tennessee Preparedness, the Economic Ninja, and last but not least, Little House Off Gritty, also coming out of Tennessee. A lot of good information out there, a lot of good channels. I know you guys put other channels in the chat, which is perfectly fine. I can't give a shout out to everybody, but I try to, throw some out there. I think it's important that we share information. It makes it better for everybody, and we are a small niche community, and I think that that's important that we try to, like I said, support each other, and that's why I do the shout outs. Anyway, again, folks, I'm always going to encourage you to continue to prep, continue to get ready. I don't want you to be victims. I don't want you to have to stand in line with 2,000 of your closest friends waiting for the government to give you a handout. If you are proactive in working on things, it just puts you in a better position than everybody else. And it doesn't take much. You have you have a 2 week supply of food and water. You have an advantage over 95% of the other people in this country. And I think that is huge. And it doesn't take a lot. That's not a lot of money. I did the series on prepping, of prepping on a budget with shopping and showing you. I think I did 10 weeks of what it would be like and what you would need to do, and how on a very limited budget you could have quite a bit of food in a very short period of time. And I think that is it, just and diverse, and not you're not just getting all tuna fish, and you're not just getting all this or that. It was showing you what you could get on a very limited budget. I think I did $10 a week. Yeah, $10 a week each time. And if you and I'm going to tell you what, I don't care what anybody says. Oh, I don't have any money. I can't do this or that. We can always come up with $10 if we wanted to. Because I will tell you what, smoke one less pack of cigarettes a week, buy one less 6-pack a week. Don't get to scratch off lottery tickets. Leave the drugs alone. There's I have found through life, and I'm not saying you guys or anybody else, I'm just saying I have found through life. I don't care how poor somebody is, they always had money for scratch off tickets, lottery tickets. They always had money for beer or alcohol, whatever they were drinking. They always had money for cigarettes, and they always had money for drugs. So, you know what? Don't have one less fast food meal a week. I look and I see the lines constantly. These places are constantly busy. So think about that. So you take one of those meals, one meal, and you take that $10 and you go and you prep like I did in that series that I put out there. It's on my channel. If you want to look at the series, that's one of the series that I have on my channel showing you how to prep on a budget. If you can prep more than that, then that's great. But in a very short period of time, you can have quite a bit of food put aside. And I think that is important. And I wanted to show people how easy, in theory, it is by doing it. So, but I caught chicken noodle soup on sale for 50 cents a can, got 72 cans. Sonia, that's the way to do it right there. That is the way to do it. If you catch it on sale and it's inexpensive, that's what you do. You load up. Now, that is obviously somebody that's already been prepping and has the experience and has been doing it. That's how you do it. That's what I'll do. I'll go in and Mark says, as a smoker, I agree. It is realistically that simple. But I buy tobacco by the pound and roll my own. I save a lot of money that way. Yeah, absolutely. But again, I hate when people tell me I don't have the money and I can't do this. And like I said, again, if you live in a state, and just as an example, and I've done it, so you can't say that, oh, well, you're just saying that and blah blah blah. The nickel deposit on cans, and I think Michigan is 10 cents, but there's a lot of states it's a nickel. That adds up, folks, and a lot of people just throw those nickels away. They're there for the taking, and you go get them, you take them back to the store, and that could be your prep money. And you'd be surprised how fast that'll add up. So I've done it. I've gone out dumpster diving, getting bottles and cans, and I supplemented a lot of things just by doing that. So anyway, let's do this. We are legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. Does anybody got the score to game two? If you guys would throw that up for me, I would appreciate that just out of curiosity. I'm rooting for Kansas City, but I'm just curious to see what the score is. But oh, Connecticut's 10 cents now. Okay, good. So where's everybody from tonight? We got Okie Forge and Nowhere, Oklahoma. So let's do that. We got Minnesota's in the house, Messenburg, Pennsylvania. It's still 10-3. Okay, thank you. Fayetteville, North Carolina with Carol. Full of Hope coming at us. Our egg count winner tonight from Ireland. BC, Canada with Emil. Inverness, Florida with Clyde. Chris in Florida. Ontario, Canada with Dave. West Virginia with Jim. Yatesville, Georgia with Tony. Connecticut with Awesome Sauce. East Central Illinois with Ranger. Troutman, North Carolina with Troy. Sean, the Englishman from Chatham in Ontario, Canada. Fort Worth, Texas with Sonia. BC, Canada once again, but this time with Janet. North Central Iowa with Ace, Central Iowa with Robert, Thief River Falls, Minnesota with Delbert, Missouri in the Ozarks with, oh, that was Deborah. Delbert's in Missouri in the Ozarks. Greenlee County, Arizona with Codster, Southwest Ohio with Barbara, Trenton, Florida. We have Maine in the house with Sir Hunalot, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania with Melissa. We got Julie with oh, she doesn't say where she's from. Okay, never mind. West Coast of Florida with Kit. Leesburg, Florida with Joan. Magic Valley, North Carolina with Savage Wagon. We got Indiana's in the house with Pam. West Central Ohio with Dale. Central New York with Village Homestead. Right now in the Upper Meadow in West Virginia. Franklin County, Ohio. 10-6 now? Okay, thanks, Okie Forge. We have Orlando, Florida with Tina. So again, folks, we're all over the country. We're all over the world. We're a huge, huge network of people. We are truly the ones that can make a difference now. We can make a difference afterwards. Trying to educate people now, I think, is important. And even if it's frustrating, we should still try to do it, because if 1 out of every 20 people actually listen and start to prepare, that's one less victim out there. And I think that that is important. Again, after an event, then I think what we're going to see happen is people are going to come to us because we're the ones that can, make a difference. We can help people. So, East Sparta, Ohio, Troll Lover. I like that name. That's actually pretty funny. Got Sandy coming at us from Arizona. Deborah, Roll Tide. So obviously that's Alabama. But again, you know, we can make a difference, and I think it's important that we try to. We got Larry coming at us from Omaha, Nebraska. Clearfield, Pennsylvania, with Bringer of Change. So, that is where we're at. We can make a difference. They're going to need us afterwards because we can teach people and help people. We got David coming at us from Tennessee. So anyway, guys, I do want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. Appreciate, ladies and gentlemen, that moderate for me. It really means a lot, and I appreciate what you do. Also, I want to thank all you guys for being here as well, and being part of this, and being in the chat. It's really a lot of fun. I know it's a Super Bowl, so our people that were not a lot of people were in here like normally, and that's fine. I get it. I understand. I like sports as well, and it's a Super Bowl, so that it happens. That's okay. But I appreciate you guys taking your time out and not watching the Super Bowl and being in the chat as well. So that's awesome. So thank you. Again, guys, we got to remember we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we truly will be in much, much better shape. We have to come together as human beings and work together. If we did that and stop letting them divide us using race, religion, political affiliation, none of that means anything. If we came together as human beings, there's nothing that could stop us. We could accomplish anything that we set our minds to. What we do here is a great example of that on a very small scale. Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about how we feel every single day. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. If you use that mantra, you can accomplish anything that you want to, anything that you set your mind to. If you set realistic goals, you can do anything that you set your mind to. Set the goal, set about to making it happen, and the only one, this is the best part, the only one that stops you from getting there is you. That's it, nobody else. As long as you set realistic goals, you can accomplish them. Stay away from the negativity. Stay away from negative people that want to bring you down and tell you that you can't do this, you can't do that. I've heard that the entire time I've been on YouTube. And my favorite thing to tell those type of people is this. I say, watch me. Because here's the best part. They'll tell you all what you can't do until you do it. And then guess what you hear? You hear crickets, because they can't say that you can't do that anymore because you did it. Okay? Use that mindset. Be a stubborn SOB like Prepper Nurse One is. I don't give up. I don't quit. There ain't no quitting me. Okay, it never has been. I have a dream. I have a goal of what I want to get done down here, and it's gonna happen. Hey, we got Janita from Palatica, Idaho, in the house as well. So anyway, folks, I am going to jump off. Be safe. Keep prepping. I will see you all later, and have a great night. Bye.